the heart of the Appalachian Mountains lies a village long forgotten by time, shrouded in the whispers of folklore and the chill of ancient curses. Legend has it that every 100 years, the village awakens, and with it, the spirit of the Wraith Woman, a figure cloaked in shadows, searching for something lost. But what she seeks may not be what the villagers expect. Tonight, we delve into a chilling tale of the Wraith Woman, a story that could keep you up at night. The village of Eldergrove, once bustling with life, now stands abandoned, its wooden cabins sagging under the weight of years. The air is thick with the scent of decay, and a fog rolls in, wrapping around the trees like a shroud. At dusk, the village is hauntingly beautiful, yet eerily silent. The only sound is the wind whispering through the branches, carrying with it the stories of those who vanished without a trace. Our story begins with a group of 4 friends: Sarah, a skeptic; Tom, the brave one; Jenna, the curious soul; and Alex, who believes in the supernatural. They stumble upon Eldergrove during a camping trip, their laughter echoing against the empty buildings. Ignoring the tales of the Wraith Woman, they set up camp near the old village square, unaware of the darkness that lurks within the shadows. As night falls, the friends gather around a flickering campfire, the flames casting dancing shadows on their faces. Tom, ever the thrill-seeker, challenges the group to share ghost stories. Jenna, wide-eyed and eager, begins recounting the legend of the Wraith Woman, a sorrowful spirit doomed to wander the village, searching for her lost child. They say she appears every 100 years, drawn to the warmth of the living. If you hear her cries, it means she's close and you must run or risk being taken by her despair, Jenna warns, her voice trembling with excitement and fear. Suddenly, a chilling wind sweeps through the square, extinguishing their fire. Darkness envelops them, and a heavy silence descends, broken only by the faint sound of weeping in the distance. Sarah rolls her eyes, dismissing it as a prank, but Alex insists they investigate, driven by a mix of fear and curiosity. They venture deeper into the village, the moonlight barely illuminating their path. As they walk, they notice strange symbols carved into the trees, twisting and spiraling like the branches themselves. The weeping grows louder, echoing through the empty streets. It pulls them toward the old church at the edge of the village, its doors creaking ominously as they push them open. Inside, the air is thick with dust and despair. Cobwebs hang like curtains, and the pews stand as silent witnesses to the passage of time. In the flickering light of their flashlights, they spot a figure at the altar, a woman in a tattered white dress, her hair hanging in matted strands, her face obscured by shadows. The friends freeze, a mix of fear and disbelief gripping them. "Is that the Wraith Woman?" Jenna whispers, her voice barely audible. The woman lifts her head, and her eyes glow, hollow and haunting. "Help me find my child," she implores, her voice echoing like a distant memory. "They took him from me, and now I am lost." Tom, emboldened by adrenaline, steps forward. "What happened? Who took him?" he asks, trying to mask his fear with bravado. "The villagers turned against me, accusing me of witchcraft. They believed my child was a curse. They took him away, and in their madness, they destroyed everything I loved. I was left to wander, searching for him in a world that no longer remembers." A sudden gust of wind slams the church doors shut, and the friends jump. The Wraith Woman's sorrow turns to rage, her form growing darker, more menacing. "You are here because you are alive. You must help me," she shrieks, her voice a cacophony of despair. Panic sets in as the friends scramble for the exit, but the doors won't budge. Desperate, Sarah shouts, "Tell us how. What do we need to do?" The Wraith Woman's eyes narrow, and she gestures towards the altar. "The sacrifice must be made. Only then can I find peace and my child return." Tom, realizing the implication, shouts, "We're not going to sacrifice anyone. We didn't come here to die." But it is too late. The air thickens with despair, and the symbols carved into the trees begin to glow, pulsing with an eerie light. The friends feel an invisible force pulling them toward the altar, their bodies betraying them as dread fills the air. Jenna, overwhelmed by the sorrowful cries echoing around them, steps forward. "We can help you, but we won't sacrifice anyone," she pleads, tears streaming down her face. The Wraith Woman's expression softens for a moment, her eyes shimmering with a glimmer of hope. "If you truly wish to help, you must remember my name and call it into the night. It will bind my spirit and give me strength to seek my child." But as the friends struggle to remember the name, a shadow looms behind the Wraith Woman. Figures emerge from the darkness, villagers from centuries past, their faces twisted in anger. They chant in a language unknown, accusing her of the very sins she has been forced to bear. Realizing they have awakened something far more sinister, Alex screams, "Run! We have to get out!" But as they turn, they find the church doors are now sealed by the same symbols that once glowed softly. In a frantic rush, they attempt to break the seal, but the shadows close in, the villagers advancing with ghostly hands reaching out, ready to drag them into the void. In the chaos, Jenna remembers the name. "Mara! Your name is Mara," she cries, her voice cutting through the darkness. The Wraith Woman freezes, the shadows retreating slightly, as if the name holds power. "Mara," she breathes, and for a moment her sorrow seems to lift. But the villagers are relentless, and the atmosphere thickens with despair. With a final surge of strength, Jenna calls out, "Mara, we believe in you. Find your child." The Wraith Woman screams, her form shifting and twisting as the villagers howl in agony. Light bursts forth, illuminating the church as a battle of wills unfolds. The friends stand frozen, watching as Mara's spirit fights against the weight of her tragic past. Suddenly, a blinding light engulfs the church, and the shadows scream, fading into the void. The Wraith Woman's form blurs, and with a final sorrowful glance at the friends, she vanishes, leaving behind a silence that feels almost sacred. The doors creak open, and the friends stumble outside, gasping for breath. The village is now bathed in moonlight, the symbols gone, the air lighter. But as they look back at the church, they find a single child's toy, a weathered wooden horse, lying on the ground, a reminder of the tale they lived. Days later, as they recount their experience, each friend carries with them a fragment of the past, a shadow of the Wraith Woman and her eternal search. They ponder the moral of the story. Sometimes the past can haunt us in ways we least expect, and some spirits remain bound by their sorrow, waiting for the call that may never come. And as the camera pans away from the village, the faint sound of weeping echoes in the wind, a chilling reminder that some stories never truly end.